Starting in 2020, 4 large book publishers sued the Internet Archive over its decision to lift its user cap on digital lending as an emergency response to global library closures. Late last week, a judge ruled in favor of the publishers. The plaintiffs include Penguin Random House, Hachette, and HarperCollins, the 3 largest traditional publishers in the world. I was going to say, I recognize all of these. The 4th is academic publisher John Wiley & Sons, who I assume were just happy to be included.
That was editorial. In all seriousness, though, I could see an academic publisher being very interested in this because piracy of academic...
Yeah, well, they try to charge for all their papers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so piracy of that stuff is like huge.
By the way, it's pretty common. If you figure out who the author of an academic paper is and you email them, they will often send it to you for free.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
It's like definitely something you can take advantage of and something I have literally done from my personal non-work email. So I wasn't trying to use my clout to figure it out.
It's a good hack.
Yeah. A lot of these people want to share this information, but it has to go through these publishing companies that want to loot. So yeah. Anyways, the Internet Archive offers an extensive range of scanned books on the basis of controlled digital lending, or CDL, a system where libraries can lend out as many digital copies of a book as it has physical copies sitting in storage. Many publishers sell ebooks to libraries at a significant markup, typically around 250%, while others refuse to sell ebooks to libraries at all. CDL has been used as a legal rationale for over a decade, allowing libraries to buy and scan books that otherwise would be unavailable in digital format. The ruling doesn't just punish Internet Archive for lifting its lending caps. It also describes CDL as a violation of copyright and form of theft, which has potential ramifications for libraries throughout the U.S., depending on fines levied. It could also threaten other Internet Archive projects like the Wayback Machine, which I am certain you have seen not only on the WAN show a bunch of times, but also in LTT content, because it is insanely useful.
So important.
The Internet Archive says that it plans to appeal the decision.
This sucks.
Sure does. I don't even know where to start. It just sucks a lot. The loss of libraries is going to be a horrible thing. And libraries are super cool. And a lot of libraries have been adapting in super cool ways.
But libraries aren't profitable, Luke.
They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why should we have them?
Kind of like by design, they're not.
Why should I
profitable.
pay for libraries? What did they ever do for me?
If the people can't
I've
see...
already read every book I want to read, so why should I pay for libraries anymore?
It reminds me, I know...
If other people want a library, they should build their own library and they should pay for it.
Some people have done that. Have you seen the, what are they called? Little libraries? Free little libraries?
Those are super cool, yeah.
Those are wicked.
Yeah.
The people will do it looks like almost a big mailbox with a glass front, if that's fair to say, or like a birdhouse with a glass front.
Yeah.
And you'll just be driving down a street and you'll see it's at the end of someone's driveway, and it is like a little library. It'll have a couple of shelves and it has books on the shelves, and you can just take whatever you want, and ideally, theoretically, you bring it back, or maybe you donate some to the little library. Super, super cool systems. But libraries are awesome.
And we also need larger libraries, though, because those little libraries are not going to have things like microfiche archives of newspapers. They're not going to be able to manage digital lending.
Yeah, and the newspaper thing, this is why we have the Wayback Machine. It's helpful to be able to look back at what happened. And even if you don't think the subject of history in school is the most interesting thing, I sure didn't. I have been in a bunch of different situations in my life. Literally one time I found myself at the Vancouver Library going through their newspaper stack thing that you're literally describing now, trying to figure something out. This has happened. This does happen to people. It's important for journalism, and it's important for people's ability to do things sometimes, because you need to know how we got to where we are now, to be able to help inform how you get to the next step. There's just so many different aspects of this just suck. And like I appreciated that the Internet Archive was trying to step up when there was a insane amount of global library closures.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that copyright holders do need to protect their rights. But not selling to libraries is not protecting your rights. That's just being a jerk. And
it just sucks.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than that. Yeah, this does just suck. You know, it's a funny thing because I can't really figure out what the benefit is to the traditional publisher model anymore. Like Yvonne has this app that she uses to read all the time, and people just they just upload stories, and a lot of the time you'll actually, it's more like a tip system or like a microtransaction system. So you'll read the first chapter, and then if you want to read the next chapter, it's like however many tokens, which I actually really do not like that it's tokens instead of actual money.
You lost me when we got to that part.
Yeah, but overall, the idea of just of people just self-publishing on a platform.
And this is
like, why do you need a...
This is definitely out of ignorance, but the biggest one that I don't understand is for music. That one is so weird to me. I watched an interview recently with a musician talking about how they made one song that was just like a massive hit, and they're like, yeah, it was great because I was with so-and-so whatever publisher, and now that has done so well that I don't need a publisher anymore. And I'm like...
Well, it's a whole who you know thing, right? Like, I mean, okay, so here's something that... So, okay, the ABCs of gaming. We self-published it because I could afford to do a production run of like tens of thousands of books.
Yeah, but people aren't buying CDs anymore.
Well, okay, no, I'm pretty sure people still buy CDs. No, for real though. Yeah, I know. The look on your face. No, really though.
Is it like an appreciable amount of, like, okay, sure, people buy records too, but like, is it an appreciable amount of your sales?
No,
is it going to make or break this situation?
No, I do think people buy CDs.
What?
Look, I know.
What do they play them in?
It's CD players.
What?
I know.
Where do you buy those? When's the last time you saw a CD player in like Best Buy? What is it? Am I crazy? Is this a thing? CDs are definitely still sold. CDs are the new vinyl? I hope that's not true. There's no way. Dude, our generation is so cringe sometimes.
Hold on a second.
Come on.
Hold on a second. Why is it any less cringe than vinyl? Let me come at it with the exact same arguments. I like to hold the physical thing as part of the experience. I feel
myself losing this argument already.
I like to put it in the thing, and it spins, and it's mechanical, and it comes with the artwork, and you can appreciate the artwork, and you can put it on display.
Okay.
And get this, it's so much more compact than a vinyl record. It's right in the name. It's a compact disc.
That was good. And I honestly, I felt myself immediately lose that argument because I want physical copies of games so that I own them.
Yeah.
And if you have music streaming services, if you have movie streaming services, whatever, you don't own it, they can take it anytime. So, okay, cool. Buy your CDs, whatever. But I'm surprised that's a significant amount of sales, is what I'm trying to get at.
It's a thing, man. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, again, it comes down to our bubbles, right?
Okay, hold on. Even in that interview with that musician, he was talking about how many times it got streamed.
Sure, yeah, because streams are the major metric now. But especially if you have a song. But Taylor Swift is selling a lot of albums.
She's selling CDs.
Yeah, sure.
See, this is what I was talking about. Where like
and
it's probably coming
albums.
from ignorance because like I have no idea.
Yeah, but you're like IT sec guy over here, right? Where it's you're living in your bubble.
I guess so.
And everyone you know has thought, what, has anyone bought a CD since the closure of A&B Sound?
Okay, but if
for real.
And everyone I know, which is a decent range of people that are not in the IT industry, not that many. One. I know one.
But you gotta remember, it's like
maybe my friend group is not.
This is like, it's like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Oh no.
You, by observing someone, could change the outcome.
Yeah, fair.
The very fact that you know them at all could change their behavior.
Yeah.
Because they would unwrap their new CD in front of you and show it to you all proud of how shiny it is.
I'd be like, what
and
the
you'd be
heck?
like, are you a f***ing idiot? I can't believe you actually spent real money on this.
I can't believe you've done this.
Did you get it for free? And even then, why didn't you immediately throw it in the garbage?
Just digitize it right away.
Exactly. So, no, we gotta get ourselves out of our bubbles sometimes and realize that there's a great big world out there full of people who are still buying CDs. Like, I think wasn't it only a year or two ago that millennials overtook boomers as the largest remaining demographic?
Oh, are we that group now? I didn't even know that.
Like, for real, though.
It's the end game, boys.
And here's another thing, okay? Man, okay, I remember going to my high school reunion. And so this was a while back, right? Because
I didn't even bother.
I graduated in
Facebook exists.
I graduated in 2000. So it's okay. So it was in the mid 2010s, okay? So this is already like 7-8 years ago, something like that, right? Okay. So 7-8 years ago, I mean, would you have considered buying a CD? Would you have bought, a programming book for dummies, or would you just go on YouTube, right? Like,
actually,
the world was pretty similar to today, I think is pretty fair to say.
Yeah, 7 or 8 years ago, I did have books for programming, though.
Yeah, but did you buy them?
I did.
Okay. No, I mean, did you buy them 7-8 years ago, or did you just still own them?
I still owned them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't that long before that, but you are being specific, so okay, sounds good.
Sure. And would you have considered buying a CD?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. So
I technically, and it's from the one person. No, I received a CD for Christmas around that exact amount of time ago, but it's from the one person that I just mentioned.
All right. So let's go back to my high school reunion for a second
I completely
here.
forgot about it. It's sitting in the glove box of my car.
Probably between 60 and 100 people showed up. Pretty good turnout, actually.
To a high school
not
reunion,
bad.
okay.
Yeah. And like I didn't want to be like, I didn't. If people asked what I was doing, I answered. But I wasn't going to walk up to people and be like, yeah, I'm like, running a, YouTube company, I have 1 million subscribers or whatever. Like I didn't want it to be like that.
It gets pretty douchey pretty fast when you start.
Yeah. Like I went out of my way to say nothing. I would just ask people about themselves. That was it. That was like my rule for the night.
Was there any intention of leading people to ask you the question, or just
Nope.
no? Okay.
No. I actually just didn't want it to be, because it's honestly weird for me when I interact with people who I know otherwise, and all of a sudden they're like, "Whoa, you're on YouTube,"
Yeah.
and then that's all they want to talk about.
Yep, I hate it.
And what I actually wanted to talk about was like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And like, remember that time?
Especially
right?
if you know them through say you met someone playing badminton.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
And they knew you as like a good badminton player that they liked playing against to test their
Right.
skills or whatever.
Sure.
And then suddenly they figure it out. Now you're not the skilled badminton player. You're now the YouTuber. And
Yeah.
it's like,
And it changes the dynamic, and then they're going to ask me about, YouTube
and like it doesn't really matter, but
No.
it changes the dynamic. Like you said,
Yeah.
it shifts
And-
like it's supposed to be about this thing
Yes.
that we did together, not this other thing that I happened to do.
Yes.
Separate
So
to
that
this.
was my
Yeah.
that was my whole jam. However, I will say that at the end of the night, I was surprised that nobody knew. Not one.
As in, so like, because I'm assuming people asked you about what you do
Like,
at
hey,
some
yeah,
point.
what are you doing?
Yeah, but every single time they didn't know that you had done it. Interesting. That's actually pretty surprising.
And if you think about that, this is
Yeah, okay. I understand the point you're trying to prove now.
So I am well into the Linus Media Group era. This
Yeah.
is post NCIX.
We're here already, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Just barely, but we are here.
just barely.
Yeah.
But we're like in this building. We're
Yeah.
we're popping off.
Yeah. We're definitely full swing at that point.
And not one of them out of, it was probably closer to 100 people, was like, oh yeah, I like know that. And I'm kind of sitting here going, huh.
World's a little bigger maybe than I thought.
And you know what? So and it's like it's the experience that I still have today. If I go to Best Buy, yeah, people know who I am.
Right. Context stuff.
But so for a shoot recently, we were going around to we ended up using a farm as a location. Okay? And the people that worked there, one of the people that worked there made an offhand comment like, yeah, I never really go on the internet. Never mind, I don't know who a tech YouTuber are. Never mind, I don't use YouTube. I don't go on the internet. That is a thing.
Yeah.
Not everybody lives on Reddit.
Yeah. I've been trying to do it less. It's been great, actually. Like I'm saying that completely unironically. It's been better. Sometimes I have to like recognize that the bubble that is the internet, as weird as that sounds to say, kind of sucks in some ways. It's fantastic in other ways, but like you shouldn't necessarily be submerged in this all the time.
No.
Like
there is a whole world out there of people who fax purchase orders.
Yep.
And call each other on the telephone.
And sometimes those things
and listen to plastic music discs.
Yeah.
I know, it's mind-blowing, right?
Weird. It is a little mind-blowing to me that people buy physical CDs still. I'm not gonna lie, that's still blowing my mind a little bit. But yeah. I do get it, and I kind of sympathize with it. I actually had the thought recently. I've talked a couple times on Wancho about how I was doing this. There was a bunch of spring cleaning going on in my house, and I did a bunch of archiving and like making sure all the hard drives that were on shelves were actually backed up properly, all that kind of stuff. And I found my old like music folder, and I had the thought of like, in like 10 years, Google Music is going to forget that I listened to any of the stuff I'm listening to now. And I'm going to forget what it was called because I don't remember the names of the songs.
Yeah, you're very much like me that way.
Just going to be gone.
Yep. And if I want to go back and like reminisce everything I listened to in 2020.
Because like sometimes I'll get tired of songs or bands or whatever, but if I can remember the name, going back a few years later, it's like, yeah, these are bangers.
Fort Minor.
Fort Minor? Is that a band?
Oh, I thought you might get the reference.
No.
They have a fairly famous song. Remember the name. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, carry on.
Is this like a top 40 thing?
No, not top 40.
Oh, I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's okay. Chat gets it. Luke doesn't know Fort Minor. What?
So I don't know. My music tastes are
10% luck, 20% skill, 15%. Yeah. Okay, that's the song.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
what?
I don't know names of this stuff.
Okay,
dude.
but you know the song, right? Yeah. Okay, that's remember the name. But yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Carry on. See, but the issue here is that I don't.
Yeah.
People will ask me about like actors or actresses, and I'll be like, I have literally no idea who you're talking about. Then they'll be like, this person in this film. I'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's George Clooney, right?
Okay.
That's good.
I was trying to think of the guy who plays Thor, but I don't remember his name either.
That's not George Clooney.
No, I know, but we both went the same kind of direction. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. What?
No, you're good.